All right, everyone. Thank you for visiting my channel. This is Gino from Trauma Counseling with another anger management conflict resolution reaction video. This video is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. As usual, I have not evaluated any of the people in these videos, and I'm just sort of reacting with my expertise as a mental health practitioner and somebody who's been working with anger management for a long time. So this video here is a little bit different than the ones we've done in the past. This one here does not end up with physical fighting, but it is a really interesting conflict. And I actually am left in the video not really sure where I've come down on whether it was handled well or not. And so I'm hoping that you guys will give me your opinions in the comments below. I hope that you guys share and tell me what you think, because I am pretty influenceable here. Like, if you make a strong argument, I might buy it. But here, I think that on a basic level, aggression was managed. There wasn't any physical. There was a moment of physical aggression, but it wasn't, a hero, so to speak. But I'm not so sure if the person handled this conflict very well. So let's take a look at the video, and then we will review it together. So when we start, we see some text that says "Another day, another Karen," hashtag white privilege. And so it gives us an insight into what's about to happen here. Once again, we don't have some of the context for this video. The video starts when the conflict is already in progress. So let's allow that there might have been something that happened before the recording started that would totally explain everything we see in the video. But we're going to work with what we have here. So let's take a look at the way this starts.
Mm-hmm. What's the age difference between the two?
What's your office phone number?
2 years, yeah. So that, I think even then
What is your office phone number? I would like to file a complaint.
is not very much of a gap.
What? You should not. I'm going to call the police.
So given that, what are things when you were not here? What did that look like?
Okay, so, it's already starting out strange, right? What we have here is a person who seems to be in like the break room of an office building. I see a microwave, I see some vending machines, and the person seems to be on the phone, the recorder seems to be on the phone conducting business. It actually sounds a lot like a therapy session. So I am really curious to know what the circumstances here. And then we have this woman who's coming in and in a very intrusive way asking questions to somebody who's on the phone. It's just like impolite as a baseline. But what I'm also kind of struck by, and this is the thing I'm having a little bit of trouble coming up with an opinion about, is the person who's recording is just conducting their business, totally ignoring the other person. Now, it may be that things that happened prior to the recording starting totally justify this. I don't know. But I wonder about the mindset here of, the person on the other end of the call has to be hearing this woman saying that she's going to call the police and file a complaint. Then the third level is this thing seems to be escalating really quickly. This is a woman who is rudely asking the recorder questions and then saying, I want to file a complaint and I'm going to call the police, and then she leaves. So again, there might be something that happened before the recording started that we're not aware of, but this really seems to be a very odd situation.
In my office building that does not belong here, and she's having a loud conversation she won't give any information. Mm-hmm. So I would like the police to call. I would like the police to 900 South 74th Plaza. 900 South 74th.
Just an observation, this woman is making calls to somebody and saying that she wants to file a complaint. And she's doing it in a way that's very visible and present to the person who's recording. So that is also striking to me, as this woman is trying to, I think, intimidate or impress upon the person recording that there are going to be consequences for this. And again, throughout, this woman is conducting her business, right? I'm really having a hard time understanding the rationale here.
74th Plaza. Correct.
People crazy.
You're the one who's in a building that...
But,
I'm sorry?
That's fair. That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
No, not
There's also something odd about this woman's presentation.
But I just think
she doesn't seem like a person in authority based on her look and dress and her behavior here.
It's just such a delicate. It's a
maroon
relationship, I think, and based off what you're saying, just in terms of distance, proximity is one thing. The other thing is, has it looked different even since March when your mom came? Because I feel like that could be, yeah. So that too, I think a lot of times.
Correct.
Again, just kind of going on about your business, and I just wonder about how the person on the other end of this line is receiving this.
What is your address?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this woman recording, I don't think has any obligation to answer the person's question, right? So she doesn't seem to be they don't seem to know each other. And so I don't think you owe anybody anything. So in that respect, I think this person is correct, but I don't know if this is the right choice.
Okay, so I have this lady in our office, and things
are escalating now.
She's not supposed to be in the building, and I've called the police. She is sitting in the common area, and she's recording me. She stated that she is not a tenant.
Right. So just from sort of an escalation standpoint, I think that what we're seeing is this woman here is absolutely kind of rising in temperature. At this point, she's more physically close. She's also, although she's kind of talking to the person on the phone, she's making eye contact with the person recording, and she's not even really talking on the phone. Like, she's sort of waving the phone around. This behavior seems to be very much for the benefit of the person recording, of like, hey, look, I'm tattling, I'm telling the teacher on you, so to speak. It's very childlike, and I think it represents sort of an escalation in temperature, and we're going to see that flare up here in a moment.
You did say that as like something
Yes,
to challenge yourself.
yes,
She's getting
right?
frustrated, clearly.
But like, and part of doing that and building relationships with other people is the other piece of that. Intentionally, I know it's part of it because you're moving back, like coming back home.
Yeah, see the
So when you
waving
lived
of
here
the
before,
arms.
what did that look like?
She's getting annoyed because she's not finding anybody to come and sort of make this bad person go away.
I have the owner of the building on the
I really
phone.
do like to be by
Here,
myself.
phone. He would like to
I
talk
not
to
only
you.
enjoy being by myself.
He would like to talk to you.
I
He
not
would like
only
to-
enjoy being by myself.
Talk to the owner. You have to talk
I
to the
prefer
owner.
it.
See, there it is.
Don't touch me. That's what you're just do not touch me.
Do not record me.
Do not touch me. Don't do it.
All right, so look, if the recorder up until this point has felt justified in not addressing this conflict, I mean, I think that's understandable in some ways. But things have escalated to the point where this woman is like physically grabbing her, and also, again, it's this childlike thing of, here's the boss, the owner of the building wants to talk to you, and the implication, you have to stop what you're doing now to address this issue, which it's just not true. But again, we'll come back to this at the end. I want to give my impressions at the end here.
Do it. I promise you. That's not what you want.
Now, this sort of satisfaction
Give me just a
of
moment,
the
the
police are
officer
here,
is
and you're going to get what's coming.
I'm conducting a meeting here in this space due to my office. I'm locked out of the office. I had a client I was meeting with. She said that I was too loud, and so I put in my AirPods. And but she's continued to come back and harass, and so I started to record her.
Okay, well, if you would have just said that you're locked out of your office.
But who are you? I don't have.
Right. So there it is at the end. So when she's explaining to the police officers, this woman in the flowered shirt is sort of interjecting. Well, you could have told me that. And again, I actually don't think the recorder has any obligation at all to explain herself to anybody. She doesn't know this person, and she says as much. She goes, "You could have told me that." And the woman recording says, "Well, who are you? Right? Like what do I owe you?" And she's right. But this is the part where I have trouble with this video. The woman recording is absolutely technically right. She doesn't owe this woman in the flowered shirt any explanation at all. She's conducting her business, and that's fine. But I wonder if this is one of those situations where she's technically right, but practically wrong. And what I mean by that is this. She seems to be conducting business, maybe even a therapy session. It has to be perceivable to the person on the other end of the line that there's a conflict sort of unfolding here. And I have to wonder if it makes sense to continue conducting the business with this disruption actively happening, or if it would have been a better idea to pause the call. Hey, I have to take care of something really quickly. Let me get right back to you. Hang the call up. Address the problem, right? You know, listen, I am locked out of my office. I'm trying to do some business here. You're being very disruptive. Please leave me alone. And maybe that would have gotten this person to go away. I don't know. Now, again, we're missing a little bit of context from the beginning of the video. I don't know what led up to this, but the woman in the flowered shirt seemed genuinely surprised that this person worked there. Now, with that being said, I think that this woman in the flowered shirt is clearly wrong. It's none of her business what's going on. She is not the authority. This woman doesn't seem to be doing anything harmful, except maybe that she was a little loud. But again, I think that this is one of those things where everybody would have been much better off just minding their own business, right? I think a lot of times we get, I don't know, we get people like this woman here may get very interested in what other people are doing. And I have some theories about the dynamic in this relationship here that might have led to this Karening, so to speak. But I'm going to keep that theory to myself. But with that, yeah, I just don't know. Look, at the end of the day, I hope the video ends. I hope there was no legal consequence for anybody involved here. This seemed like, again, another avoidable conflict. But there's a part of me that wonders if the recorder, if this doesn't represent some loss of anger control in the sense that she dug in, she did something that was ultimately maybe not the greatest idea for her, right? This idea of conducting business with somebody kind of shouting in your ear just doesn't seem like a good thing for anybody involved. And I wonder if this anger level, this sort of frustration with this woman created a sense of almost passive aggression. You know, I'm not going to tell you because I just don't like you and I don't want to give you the satisfaction, and I'll deal with the cops when they come. So again, I don't really know how to rate this one. As I said before, on a basic level, if there was any aggression, it was the woman in the flowered shirt. She is clearly misbehaving here. She, not handling herself well. The person who's recording did a really good job of managing the physical aggression. But I wonder if there's not just a whole lot of passive aggression here. Hey, I'm not going to do what you want me to do because F you, that's why. That's the sort of passive aggressive mentality. It's a really interesting conflict where I find myself not really sure how I feel about it. I would love to hear your feedback, right? So if you feel particularly strongly about this video, make a comment down below. Also, subscribe to my channel if these videos seem interesting to you. I'm also open to suggestions. If you have a video of a conflict that you want me to take a look at, I'd love to do that. I appreciate all of you guys watching my video. Please check me out on my social medias. All that stuff will be linked in the description below. And if you're in Central Jersey and you need a therapist, Tramontelli Counseling is a great place to go. Please give us a try. So thank you for checking out my video.